that are going to take a long time to work through. Massive economic transitions from globalization and technology. Fallout that remains from the 2008 financial crisis. Very polarized reactions to social issues and greater migration, not just here, but across the EU and around the world. And many of our issues flow downstream from these changes. And in the face of these tensions, once again, a popular impulse is to pull back on free expression. We're at another crossroads. We can either continue to stand for free expression, understanding its messiness, but believing that the long journey towards greater progress requires confronting ideas that challenge us. Or we can decide that the cost is simply too great. And I'm here today because I believe that we must continue to stand for free expression. Now, at the same time, I know that free expression has never been absolute. Right? There are some people who argue that internet platforms should allow all expression that is protected under the First Amendment, even though the First Amendment explicitly doesn't apply to companies. Now, I'm proud that our values at Facebook are inspired by the American tradition, which is more supportive of free expression than anywhere else in the world. But even American tradition recognizes that some speech infringes on other people's rights. Yet still, a strict First Amendment standard might require us to allow things like terrorist propaganda or bullying people that almost everyone agrees that we should stop, and I certainly do, as well as content like pornography that would just make a lot of people uncomfortable using our platforms. So once we're taking this content down, the question is, where do you draw the line? So most people would agree with the principle that you should be able to say things that people don't like, but you shouldn't be able to say things that put other people in real danger. And the shift over the last several years is that more people today would argue that more speech is dangerous now than would have just several years back. So this raises this question of exactly what counts as dangerous speech online, and I would like to spend some time examining that in detail today. So many of the arguments about online speech are related to new properties of the internet itself. If you believe that the internet is completely different from everything that comes before it, then it doesn't make much sense to focus a lot on historical precedent. But I believe that we need to be careful about such overly broad arguments because they've been made about pretty much every new technology, from the printing press to the radio to the television. Instead, I think that we need to consider the specific ways that the internet is different and how internet services like ours might address those risks while still protecting free expression.